it's honestly a very momentous occasion for NASSCOM as well as the IT industry, because 25 years is not a short period in the lifespan of a company and association. If you go back and research into Dow Jones Industrial Average, the companies which started off, Dow Jones is actually about 105 or 107 years old. That's when they started tracking the industries. And you'd find no more than one of the first 10 still in existence. That's GE, I believe. So companies which would last more than 100 years are very few. So therefore, 25 years is a fairly long journey. And certainly, it's been a glorious journey for NASSCOM, because one of the data points I'm sure all of you would be fairly familiar was this industry when NASSCOM got started off was just about $10 million. I'm pinching myself and saying it's not $10 billion. It was just $10 million that was what it was in 1990. Look at what happened to this industry by now. It's a $120 billion industry. Certainly, I think the industry had a profound impact in many ways in this country itself. First one is it had an important role to play in the Indian economy. Whether you look at percentage of GDP, you look at percentage of exports, which is basically foreign exchange earning and so on and so forth. From the brink of disaster in 1992, when we were trying to hypothecate gold to Bank of England, I think certainly the fact that this industry was instrumental in terms of getting this country out of the challenges is a reflection of what this industry has contributed. Certainly, it also built a big brand for India. Brand India became fairly important all around the world, largely courtesy the IT industry. And third, and the most important thing, is also that it fulfilled the aspirations of a lot of youth. Job creation, if you look at the incremental job creation in the mega metro cities, I believe, 45% of incremental jobs were created by IT industry. That's the profound impact it had on the youth of this nation. Equally important is it's because this industry, we also drove considerably the infrastructure, the creation, sustenance of infrastructure. And finally, and to me most importantly, this industry proved to this world that we can also take the position of leadership. A number of Indian companies emerged out of India as global leaders. And I think that is sent, not only you talk at brand, you talk at our image, more importantly even the rub-off effect that went on to the other industries is a great reflection of what IT industry has done for this nation. Of course, NASSCOM had a many firsts to accomplish. The first one is that we had a fact-based policy advocacy. We had fights, number of fights with whether it is government, whether it is the education institutions, but all of it in a spirit that both of us have to coexist and both of us has to develop. And making sure that whether it was, we talked about, I think the video you saw, the STPI was actually first to start with a physical location. People were supposed to be under one roof. Thereafter it became virtual STPI, which means that you could go and create one of your own and they would just give us a license. And certainly I think we have to credit the government to show that flexibility, that vision. I'm sure there are visionaries amongst us. Mr. J. Satyanarayana is here. People like Mr. Whittle who are not here, who certainly helped us in terms of making sure that many issues that we brought up to them in terms of policy advocacy were very well heard and made sure that they were implemented. While the industry played a very important role in creating a long-term vision, the NASSCOM also played an important role in terms of generating a number of research reports. There are benchmark reports from McKinsey, NASSCOM, BCG, and each one of the sectors, several of them which certainly became guidance for the strategies for a number of companies in this country. Certainly, I think one of the things that I like to point out is that not only NASSCOM believed in terms of best practices, but made sure that we started moving towards the next practices. The fact that NASSCOM took this initiative ahead of many others in terms of data security, in terms of skill building, etc. As part of NSDC, we did the skill building. We'd have a data security council. All these are trying to bring in more amount of next generation practices into this nation. We keep talking about leaders, we keep saying the best leaders are the people who can be emulated by the next generation. A small reflection of that is NASSCOM itself. I don't know how many of you are familiar. Ghana has an equivalent of NASSCOM, which is called the GASCOM, and Sri Lanka has one which is called the SLASCOM, or Brazil has the BRASCOM. So that's just a small reflection of our global impact as an association. Certainly, the NASSCOM 25 years is a great moment for all of us, and I have spent a little over 10 years as a part of the NASSCOM Executive Council. I've been on NASSCOM board since 2002, I believe it's almost 12 years now. But as I spend this time and as I reflect on what NASSCOM has contributed to me, and in simple words, I keep summing up one that reflects back in my mind is our good friend Kiran Karnik, who was the president of NASSCOM, wrote a book and he describes NASSCOM as a coalition of competitors. But I think in my reflection, it is a coalition of collaborators. That's what NASSCOM has been. Certainly, I think it's a great opportunity for me to thank our members who are here in this room, who are not in this room this evening, who contributed to NASSCOM's success. And more importantly, to the government officials who are here with us today, who are not here with us today, who certainly helped us in terms of building this industry, the academia, the infrastructure providers, and many others who have enabled us in this transformation journey. I would certainly miss an opportunity if I don't thank my media friends who also helped in terms of building an image for NASSCOM, just not in India, but all around the world. One thing which, to my mind, reflects very strongly is the ability of Mr. Chandrababu Naidu to bring both Mr. Bill Clinton, the President of the United States, as also Bill Gates, then the President of, or CEO of Microsoft, to Hyderabad. I think that single instance that he did this in a very short span of about 12 months apart, I think reflected back to many multinationals. I've actually had a conversation with many people around the world. And their point was, if Bill Clinton and Bill Gates could go to Hyderabad, why not multinationals to Hyderabad? I think that was a singular contribution that Mr. Chandrababu Naidu made, amongst many other things that, of course, I can signal out for him. Mr. Naidu certainly started the trend of positioning himself as the CEO of the state, which at times people say cost him an election, all right. But I think he certainly brought to all of us things like good governance, transparency, and finally accountability in government. Certainly, I'd like to acknowledge his leadership for what contribution he has made, and the decision at the NASSCOM leadership was that we would recognize him at our national event, which will happen in February of 2015. Today, if you look at the state, it accounts for about $10 billion of the exports. But certainly with what I see as future, we can aspire to build a $50 billion industry by 2025. There are three things that Hyderabad stands out. One is as an IT hub. We contribute to about 12 to 13% of India's exports. There are about 800 plus companies in Hyderabad. There are about 4.5 lakhs of people who are directly employed, about 10 lakhs of them who are indirectly employed. There are about 40 plus, and I see lots of them here, global in-house centers in Hyderabad. And there are big names like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, or the Indian multinationals like Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Cognizant, all of them, you name them, they're all in Hyderabad at this point of time. The second one is, in addition to being the IT hub, it's also talent hub. There are about 44 universities in and around Hyderabad, which produce about 150,000 graduates. And I believe there's a statistic which NASSCOM has at this point of time. Approximately 20% of employees in any company in this country today is from this province of Andhra Pradesh, be it Telangana or Andhra Pradesh. Certainly, as a part of the talent creation, I also see Professor PJN here. Creating the IIIT and also ISB were two other outstanding facts. And now I think the third factor which will also become very important is the startup hub. I think the future would lie in terms of more amount of entrepreneurs. NASSCOM statistic shows that we have about 200 startups that were set up since 2010 in the city of Hyderabad. And there were about $30 million which were raised through whether venture capitals or private equity that have been invested into these startups.